How do you turn a personal breakdown into a business breakthrough? Building a roofing company and podcast that thrive on resilience. In this episode, we sit down with Martin Shepard, founder of Reset Roofing and host of the Hard Reset podcast, to explore how transparency, empathy, and a customer-first culture have shaped his approach to leadership and life. Martin built Reset Roofing after years as a top 1099 sales rep. He now runs a values-driven company where Friday lunches, handwritten underlayment blessings, and a therapy-informed leadership are just part of the DNA. Martin's not afraid to go deep, from hiring former bartenders and missionaries to building in boundaries with his wife, who now helps run the business. Reset isn't just a name, it's a daily mindset. So if you're struggling with culture, customer experience, or just need a reminder of why you got into this business in the first place, this one's for you. Let's hit the reset button with Martin Shepard of Reset Roofing. Welcome to the Roofing Success Podcast. I'm Jim Aline, and I'm here to bring you insights from top leaders in the roofing industry to help you grow and scale your roofing business. Martin Shepard, welcome, man.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good having you. So Reset Roofing, where are you guys out of?
So we are out of a small town, believe it or not, called Cumming, Georgia, which is spelled Cumming, but it's about 30 minutes north of Midtown Atlanta. So kind of handled the whole North Atlanta, a little bit of South Atlanta stuff here in Georgia.
Cool. How did Reset Roofing get started? How'd you get into roofing?
Man, long story short, in 2006, I dropped out of college, or I don't even know if I dropped. Well, they asked me not to come back. And I had like $25,000 worth of student loan debt. And I just have always been in customer service and worked in food and beverage. And I just was like, I guess this is going to be my life now, where I'm going to work nights and weekends and holidays, and I'm not going to be able to see my, family and all that stuff. So in 2006, I married my high school sweetheart. And at that time, I saw an ad in the local paper. It was a town in Roswell, Georgia, and they were looking for a sales and marketing position. And that's kind of what I was studying, although I was still like learning about biology and history and all that stuff, for a residential roofing company. So I got into it in 2006 as a 1099 self-employed subcontractor. And then fast forward to 2016, I started my own company called Reset Roofing, and been kind of trying to grow it ever since.
Yeah. What have been some of the early challenges that you faced?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sales guy at heart, so like I don't really understand all the nuances of like workers' comp insurance and general liability and why I get an audit, and all I know is like IRS audits are terrible, but you have an insurance audit, like all the things. I just thought, man, just go out and sell. You need to have insurance. So just go close deals. Luckily, when I first started in the industry, they really put me in this rigorous training where I was like on roofs. The first roof I got on was like a 1412. Like, I have no idea how I survived it. But I think that for me has been kind of the learning curve, is like, it's not just about, man, sell everything you can. There's a lot more to running and owning a business than I thought.
What were some of the hardest ones to learn?
I think the hardest for me, Jim, was the insurance thing. And it was only because no one ever sat down and like made it like a fourth grader could understand it. It was just like, hey, you need insurance, and we audited your insurance and you don't have enough. So I know you think you made a lot of money last year, but you also owe another $25,000 in insurance. And no one sat down, Jim, and said, hey, Martin, your insurance is based on your revenue. So if you tell them you're going to do $1 million and you do $10 million, you're going to owe at the next year $9 million worth of insurance because they insured a $9 million or a $10 million project. And it wasn't until like I just had it out with this, it just felt like they were robbing me. And somebody literally, I was having a drink or something with somebody, and he's like, and what I just told you, like it's based on your revenue. So if you're going to do 5 million, you should tell them you're going to do 5 million. If you're going to do 3 million, you should tell them you're going to do 3 million. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. But it still frustrates me every time I get an audit. We had a really great year last year and we grew a lot. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, your audit's due and you owe this. And here we are. So that was the hardest thing for me to really understand is like, I know we need insurance. I've unfortunately had to been sued and all those other things. But really understanding like the money end of it has been the biggest learning curve for me.
Yeah, that the insurance part of it, that's a great thing for people to understand. Everyone's trying to avoid those costs at all costs, right?
At all costs.
No, man, I'm up to $1 million this year. This sounds good, right? Like, and then, whoa, what just happened? Other things I see people doing is making themselves general contractors that, they're trying to, get around the roofing aspect of insurance and things like that, where I don't know. I think one of the things I've learned over the years is there's certain things you have to pay for.
Yep.
And
as a roofer, insurance is one of them.
Yeah, definitely. What was the moment you knew you wanted to start your own company?
Great question. I probably wanted to start it when I was a 1099. And I wouldn't throw any shade on the company that I'm forever grateful to the man that started this company. But that model was a 1099 model. And he ran it like a 1099 model, right? So he was like, if you want to drive a truck, you got to rent the truck. If you want shirts, you got to buy the shirts. If you want insurance, you got to pay for insurance on your own. If you want workers' comp and general liability, like all the things. So I was my own company per se, but it never had any sort of like culture in my opinion. It was always like everyone is out for themselves. And that is a 1099 model. Like it sounds great. Like, oh, we're going to go a 10-50-50 split on a commission scale. And like we'll get 10% to manage the job. And then, we'll split the commission 50-50. But hey, if you want to drive this billboard around, you need to rent that for $75. And I don't know. I had some ideas, and I also had some people in my ear just saying, hey man, you should start your own. Like, you're a subcontractor, like you're allowed to go and show income from other people. They probably want that. And a couple things they didn't want to do a new construction job. I was approached with a new construction job, and I told myself, man, if I land this deal, I'm going all in with an EIN and start this thing. And it happened in 2016, kind of October of 2016. And it was probably for the first year and a half, it was just me and everything was in my head, which is not a great business model. And I'm sure there's lots of guys out there that's doing the same right now. And that's a good model until like you get hurt or something happens and, you drop the ball and all that. So I asked my wife to help me a little bit as I went on out of town on a golf trip. And then I was like, hey, she never wanted to talk to a homeowner. She was deathly afraid of talking to homeowners, but she didn't mind talking to anyone else. So she was like, okay, I'll come on board. We hired a part-time customer experience manager is what we call them, but like a site superintendent. And she made it very much a point to say, hey, this is a part-time job. This is not a full-time job. And we just kind of slowly grew from that. So it's been a heck of a run. We're 9 years into it, and we have an awesome team right now. And I'm just trying to learn every day and all that fun stuff that goes along with owning a business.
So what I heard from you is that you saw the the 1099 model, subcontractor model, there was no life to it. It was very transactional, and it didn't feel good. So, you started off on your own, wife came in to help. How have you developed the team to be much different from that model? What has been the vision there, and how have you implemented that vision?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think it's, we start every day to go simply, how can we obsess over the customer experience? And then who can we pull in from the customer service world that not necessarily have any ties to roofing, but have ties to like serving people? And so the culture of a 1099, like, it's just like, theoretically you're on your own, and so it makes it feel, just like you said, very transactional. And so from this model that we have, it's just different. That I would say that it's better, but it's more of a, hey, we're a team environment, we're selling as a team, we're doing operations as a team, we're kind of getting together as a team, versus like, hey, you're going to go over here and do this and you're going to do this. It really feels more like a team oriented event.
Now, I hear that a lot. What does that mean on a day-to-day in your business?
Yeah, I would say that it means that we all have each other's back. And I know you probably know the guys out at Top Rep. We run on a very specific, like, hero sales culture here at Reset. And so we like to just put others first, right? So from setting our operations team up, for our operations team, setting up our invoicing team, like all of those things. So what it means to us is like, hey, we just all have each other's back. And at the end of the day, the buck stops with the sales team. And so if they're not performing, like, the company and the team is feeling it. And so what can we do as a sales team out in the field to make sure that the phone's always ringing, that we have operations things to do? And then outside of it, culturally, we like to do fun things when we can, when the schedule permits, right? Getting out. We have a Friday lunch every Friday here where we buy lunch, and we want everyone to come in from all over, because we're driving all over Atlanta all week, and we're installing roofs and gutters and all that stuff. So like bringing everyone together, and then we try, I mean, I can't say that we do this all the time, but like we try to do at least quarterly a get together where it's two options. Like we just had a get together with our team where it just so happened that all the girls wanted to go make perfume and go to lunch, and all the guys, and plus one of my girls, wanted to go race go-karts and eat Brazilian steakhouse. So we just try to do those fun things, because anytime that there's any sort of tension, my role at the office is when we have tension amongst our group, we need to break bread together, right? It's just the old-fashioned, like, keyboard warriors online. It's like everyone's just, out to get you, and everyone's, we're all hiding behind an email, sending an email. You can't understand tone. It's like, hey man, when you have conflict with people on our team, let's go to coffee, let's go to lunch, let's go to dinner and get together so you can see the human part of it. And we've done a really good job of emphasizing that, I feel like, here. So when there is tension, it's like, hey, what's the rule? Let's go grab some breakfast together.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The other side of it you mentioned is from the customer experience. The sales team sets up the production team, who sets up the invoicing team. Maybe marketing sets up the sales team. Maybe, right? What are some of the things that you've implemented in that customer experience and the handoffs between people that you've seen the most value out of?
I think, well, one, we're brand new into switching CRMs, and we're actually leaving one CRM to go with ProLine, and I'm super excited holistically that what Proline's going to do for us as a company, because it's going to be able for us to pass the baton in a more efficient way. Like right now, it's like, okay, Martin comes out to Jim's house, Martin sells Jim a roof, and then I get your color choice, you sign the contract, and then the contract gets notified in our CRM, and then it passes on to the next person and next person. It doesn't feel like super flowy. From a homeowner standpoint or a property owner standpoint, it's very fluid, but the back end does not feel that way. So what we do as a company is we try to we try to get every roof that we sell on and installed within 2 weeks, weather permitting, of course. And then we have a 48-hour repair guarantee where we'll install a repair within 48 hours, because obviously in today's day and age, everyone wants it done really quick and right now and yesterday and all that fun stuff. So from a sales perspective, we drive home that hero sales culture to say like, hey guys, you can't, we can't operationally be super on point if your material purchase order sucks and it doesn't, flow right, or you miss a color, or you didn't, tag this thing right in company cam. So we have someone on the back end that kind of makes sure that everything is good. So that when we switch it to production knows, hey, this is exactly what we do from a repair standpoint. Obviously a little easier with a new roof, but we really try to obsess over the customer experience so that they don't feel like they're getting left, the homeowner doesn't feel, and then operations doesn't feel like, hey guys, just go put this roof on, or here's a repair, go figure it out.
The sales rep was like, here, best of luck.
Yeah, and my operations team is like, man, sometimes it feels as like, hey, here's the roof, black shingles, and it's like, yeah. So coaching everyone up that way, and it's really helpful.
Definitely. So your wife has came on board. You said that she played the kind of a certain role in the beginning. Has her role expanded over time? Before we carry on with the episode, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors. I talk to contractors every day that feel stuck. Not because they're not working hard, but because they're missing the structure to growth without chaos. Or their culture's falling apart because their team's unclear, unaligned, or just burned out. And when change hits, they're reacting instead of leading because time and priorities aren't under their control. Day 41 Thrive helps to fix that with proven strategies for growth, culture, and leadership that actually work. Ready to thrive beyond the storm? Visit the link in the description or visit the Roofing Success Podcast website on the sponsors page to start your journey today. Your wife has came on board. You said that she played the kind of a certain role in the beginning. Has her role expanded over time?
Yeah. So she's awesome, man. We work together well because of lots of therapy. And I emphasize that, right? Because the first company that I ever worked for in the roofing space, it was a husband and wife, and they would just holler at each other from across the hallway, right? It was just like so bad for culture, but it was a really good company. I mean, all those things, but I was like, man, if I ever work with my wife, like I'm never going to yell at her across the hallway. So yeah, she's been kind of part of the company, from the early on. She's now kind of our office manager. So what she does is she's kind of in charge of what I would consider the back of the house. So the customer service reps, the profit losses, she handles marketing, she's probably has, I would say, like 5 or 6 people on her team that she's serving. And then she is the greatest advice giver that I could. I'm a very much a dreamer. You were like, hey man, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. What are the questions? I don't even care what the questions are. To free flow it that way. She is very much like, so I'll come to her just like that and be like, hey, I think we should do this. And she's like, maybe you should think more about that. And also my staff come to her and they're like, hey, what do you think about this? So she really gives great advice, and she's a early childhood education major from Auburn. And she's got that kind of teachable spirit about her, so she can help explain systems and processes a whole lot better than the dropout.
And teaching 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds or 1-year-olds. So, it kind of fits, right? Like it kind of fits into business.
You said that everyone's a 2 and a 3-year-old in the racing game.
She knows how to speak our language, Martin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's anytime I bring someone on that's brand new at this, I'm like, guys, we're just doing roofing. I mean, it's like a box of step flashing and some coil nails, and like, we can figure this out together. It's not difficult. We make it more difficult than it needs to be.
Oh, that's awesome. You said it took a lot of therapy, for those people who do work with their spouses or partners and or potential future spouses or, what makes it work, man? Because 2016, 10-ish years of running a business together, I would assume, some of the home conversations become just about roofing. And how do you keep that balance going with the relationship and the business?
Yeah, I always thought, like, before I was in therapy, it was like, man, like if you're in an argument, you're meant to win it, right? Like if you and I, it's like a fight. Like if we're getting in a fight, like you want to win the fight. Same thing with an argument, right? And actually that's the polar opposite of, like, there's no winning and losing in an argument, right? So it's like, so what I've learned through all these years of therapy is, like, my wife is way smarter than me. And women are made different, right? They have great intuition, and they have a great gut feeling about it. And ask, hey, what do you think about this, instead of telling someone. And I think I do a good job here, not saying, hey, this is my company, this is the way it has to be. It's like, hey, what do you think? Because our team is so diverse, of like all different walks of life. And so we have an early childhood education, major, who's our office manager, right? So it's like, my operations director is a food and beverage manager, right? My sales manager is a golf pro. It's like, so we try to bring on people that really help us and complement us very, very much. But from my wife perspective, I would just say, ask a lot of questions and then have really good boundaries. My therapist once told me, he was like, as business owners, this, like, we can work all day long and then there's still more work to do tomorrow, right? So we have the boundary. Before, when we first started growing, we were not at an office. Now we have an office. But we were working out of our basement in our home. So like every second we would talk about this business. Oh, listen to this, what this customer did. Listen to what, this happened today with this supplier. And it was just like, oh my gosh. So we put in the boundary of, like, when we're not at work, we're not going to talk about work, especially like the hard conversations. And about 6 o'clock, we basically turn it all off and we go straight to mom and dad mode instead of, business owner mode. That's been really, really helpful.
I bet that's hard.
It is hard. And it's so good because we remind each other, especially when, like, she's worn out and doesn't want to talk about it, or I'm worn out. She'll always say, it's like, hey, let's not talk about this here. And I'm like, oh, so good. Yeah, because it's still going to be there tomorrow. It's like, it doesn't matter. But I'm an outward processor, so I just want to talk about everything that happened and all the things and all of that. And it is very difficult, but it's also really great to be able to be like, yeah, we're not going to talk. We have that boundary, that guardrail in our relationship where we're not going to talk about roofing all the time. We're more than roofing,
Yep. What other lessons have you learned in therapy that have helped you in business?
Man, you can't make everyone happy. I had this customer, man. I can't even tell her name because I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. But if this wasn't recorded, I would tell you her name. And it was like I was right when I started in this industry. And it was a referral from my metal sub. And he's like, this lady's great. You're going to love her. And I was like, awesome. So I sold her a roof, and she never provided plans. And she was like, hey, so we kind of hand measured everything. We were just trying to figure out how to, get the right materials. So I just ordered like a whole bunch of extra materials just because, as you know, like it's the worst thing. It's 5:00 and you're out of, TimberTex or, Sealer Ridge or whatever. And so I ordered a whole bunch of materials. Everything went great. We installed a full system. So this was a GAF job. So we used Felt Buster, Sealer Ridge, Timberline Ultra, Storm Guard, like everything. Like it should have been a golden pledge, but we weren't a master elite contractor at the time. So we showed up to get all the extra materials, and she was like, oh, I thought I got to keep those. I was like, no, we're, taking them back. I ordered extra because, 5:00, the normal spiel. Well, she didn't like that. Well, she sent me a video the next day saying, hey, you didn't put flashing on this roof. And I'm like, no, there's flashing there. And so I, of course, ran right over to her house to, double check and make sure that there's flashing there. And of course, I sent her this video. This is before company cam. And you can like hear me tinking with a pencil, like tink, 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 the metal behind the hardy plank. And I sent it to her, and she's just like, nope, it's not there. I'm like, it is 100% there. And what I found out is that her husband's an attorney, and this is what their stick was, is just to stick it to people. And they would just see if they could, win the argument or get away with not having to pay the contractor. And man, I was in this crazy tailspin because I took everything so personally. Like, this is my baby. I care so much about the homeowner. I want to make it right. Like, I don't understand why they would ever think that I didn't do it. And then I would just run over there, and my therapist, Ed, he's a great guy. He goes, Martin, like, you can't make everyone happy. Like, let me ask you a question. Did you put the roof on to the best of your knowledge? And I said, yes. There's no way that this roof will ever leak. We did everything perfect. I personally inspected it. I had my top crew do it. He's like, some people are just like that. Some people are a-holes. And I'm like, yep, some people are a-holes. And so I learned that valuable lesson is like, man, you can't take it personally. Like, some people just want to sue you, and it sucks and it's messy. And I would never live my life that way or treat people that way. But some people, that's just their MO. They think every contractor's out to get them. And yeah, so, being able to take a deep breath and be like, hey, that's what we have an attorney for. The attorney can handle all that stuff. I did everything right. But it took a lot. You could see my passion beginning to talk about this late. So.
No, it's the truth though. And that's a good lesson to learn because, like, first of all, not everyone is your customer, right? Is the first thing I think of there. And not that you knew, right? You didn't know, but that's a great lesson that, hey, no, we really did everything. Like, if you feel, maybe the lesson there is that if you know that you did everything that you could have done, hey man, that's about as far as we could go with this, because there are one or two crazy people out there. I did a podcast.
There might be more than one or two.
There maybe three or four per square inch of the Earth surface or something. But
I want to write a book. I want to get together with a bunch of roofers and just write a book about everyone's favorite customer, right? Like the good one or the bad one. I think that would be a heck of a read.
Yeah. Because it's both. Dimitri has a show now. I did a podcast recently with Jason Eustace, and he co-hosts the show every now and then. And Dimitri does a show where they do like horror stories about a contractor, but then also horror stories about a homeowner or a property owner. And it's I love the premise of it because it's not always you, even though even though the world may feel it's you. I know you're enjoying the episode, but let's give a shout out to another one of our sponsors. As a roofing marketing agency owner and coach, I've seen it all. Great marketing wasted because no one follows up fast enough. That's why I built Power Up Agents, not just a receptionist. Our AI handles the entire customer journey, from answering the first call to booking the job to post-job surveys and reviews. 24/7, inbound, outbound, even multilingual. If you want leads followed up instantly and customers nurtured automatically, visit the link in the description or visit the sponsors page on the Roofing Success Podcast website. Your full AI team is ready. It's not always you, even though even though the world may feel it's you.
Yeah, it definitely does. And we have some awesome customers too, man. I mean, some of my favorite customers are like, what color would you want? And I'm like, well, I would do the Landmark Pro Moray. Like, that's what I put on my house. They're like, that's what I want. Like, those are our favorite customers.
That's right.
And then we have the customers that are like, hey, we're going to videotape this whole thing. And we're like, well, how do you videotape? Where do you get the tape? Like, you could just record it. Like, but it's like, that's what I love about this job is that you just meet all the different types of people, the people in the C-suites and the people that like, man, are hard up on their luck and they just need, somebody to fix their roof and, do it quick.
Yeah. There's a wide variety of people that you'll come across from a customer standpoint and from a team perspective. What are some of the some of the ups and downs you've had building your team over the years?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of is the team. And it all stems from when I was first hired by this roofing company. They hired me. I did tile, like floor tile, one summer, and that's the extent of my like trade knowledge. And they hired me and they're like, we love hiring you because you don't know it any other way. So we're going to teach you our way, and that's the way. And so that is the way that I love it here. As much as I would love to bring in, a sales guy from another company, like there's all those bad habits. It's like, at least how I feel in Atlanta, Jim, is that like people just want to be nurtured and cared for and not be sold to. So if I can find people that are just customer focused, where they can just not feel like they're being sold to, they feel like they're being taken care of. If I can teach that and hire that, then you're going to be a great fit. So, my sales team currently consists of 2 bartenders, an ex-special ed teacher, a missionary in Africa, and a golf pro. And then this college dropout. I consider myself sometimes a sales guy. And no one has any sales experience. And I have to remind myself that, you don't know about follow-up and like all those things. So I have to remind them of those things. But it's like, I love it because the people that we hire are like, they are customer service people that happen to sell roofs, right? Because especially in the homeowner sphere, if you can obsess over the customer experience and you feel like you're like over communicated with, you're going to continue to flourish and have many, many appointments. So if you're in customer service and you're a bartender, you know how to deal with the angry people. You know how to deal with the couple that's in an argument. You know how to deal with the old man that's just lonely and is, so all those things. So we just take that and then throw it into the homeowner space, and we teach them a little bit about roofing and roof repairs, and then we're constantly kind of teaching our team that way. So that's kind of our sales team. Operations, man, I have another bartender, and he's a Colombian dude. He's awesome. My food and beverage guy, my operations manager is a food and beverage. I smoked him out of my my country club because I just watched how he obsessed over like taking care of the members. Yeah, we have another educator here that worked with my wife, 20 years ago, and we post a lot of, fun content on our thing, and she saw our content, and she's like, man, I want to come work there. And I just found out that my media manager, she's in charge of all of our marketing, actually has a marketing degree, which is just like blew my mind. I was like, wait, what? You have a marketing degree? That's crazy. I just thought she was this like Division I soccer star. So, but we just hire like just great people. And we kind of let everyone be involved in the hiring process where we want everyone to, meet that person and see if they're going to work with the flow. I don't like the whole we're a family thing because I just don't believe in like, hey, we're a family, because you can't fire your mom. I don't know. I've never liked that. Hey, we're a family, but we're a really great unit and team. And, it works really well for us, especially if we give everyone the opportunity. Hey, we're thinking about bringing this person on board. We would love you to set up a time to have coffee with them, or vice versa.
Yeah. I like that. I like the concept of, or what you're doing there, bringing people with who have already, maybe they haven't been formally trained in customer experience, but they have had to, but they were thrown in the fire of customer experience, right? And had to deal with a lot of challenging situations. I think that's something I've heard from a few different contractors around the country. And I've heard it other ways where, they, like if you're recruiting people for your team, you may recruit from, like a company that has a really extensive customer service training program, maybe a Nordstrom's or something like that, where they're, probably a Zappos, right? Like something like that, where it's like, man, this is just like, these people were extremely well trained in helping people and doing the right thing and creating that customer experience. And then you find out they have a marketing degree and you're like, wow, this is awesome. Like,
who would have thought?
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to shift gears a little bit real quick. And with the new sign behind you, the Hard Reset podcast, have ventured into my world, Martin. You've come you've come over to the good side finally.
Yeah, I love the podcast space. It's like, this is my new passion project. It's funny if you were to get on our socials and see our TikTok or whatever, it's like, I don't feel like if I was a homeowner that I care about the epic drone videos with like the unbelievable music and all those things. Like, what I think is like, how do we entertain these people that want to follow our channel? And we do have some good education stuff on our YouTube channel, but the Hard Reset kind of podcast came out of like, long story short, in 2021, I got COVID, and about 10 days after my COVID, I went into mania, and my mania wasn't treated. So then I went into psychosis. The psychosis wasn't treated. And so it came to this moment in 2021 where my therapist, my wife, and my big brother were in this room, and they were like, you need to get him to a psychiatric hospital, and he needs to go like right now, today. And so no mental health history or anything in my family, anything like that. So fast forward, like I spent 5.5 months in 2021. By the way, I had a company at the time. And so that was just, awful. But what I learned in that moment, and I can, tell that story another day, but what I learned in that moment is like, when it's hitting the fan and you're going through it, now that I've been through it, other people are going to go and be faced with that same thing. Maybe not the same story, but they're going to be faced with a similar thing where it's like, my wife just went a little crazy. She's in the psychiatric ward. Like, what do we do? Now I'm the guy that gets the call. And so I love getting the call because I feel like, not just in roofing, but in life, like we're out here to help each other. So the Hard Reset podcast literally came from like the more people that know my story or the more people that know your story of your hard reset, the better it is for the world. Because if we want to genuinely help people, that's what this podcast is about. It's like, hey man, this is what I went through. We've had a widower on, we've had people that, left, the corporate world to go into ministry. We've had alcoholics, people lying to their wife. We've had adulterer. We had my best friend's ex-wife on, who's now married to another person with 3 kids. Like, it's wild. But all these stories kind of add up to just this Hard Reset podcast. And we're just having a lot of fun. And we're just, having conversations with life change people, right? Because like, again, who wants to see a drone video of a Landmark Pro? It's like, that sounds boring. Let me tell you about the time the guy drove north in the southbound lane of Interstate 75. Like that, I can listen to that. I got that guy coming on.
little bit more attention there. What does having a hard reset mean to you?
You broke up on me on that question.
What does having a hard reset mean to you?
Man, a hard reset is starting from scratch and really thinking about everything needs to be redone. A hard reset is like, hey man, it's like a 180. Like you're going down this road and all of a sudden you gotta hit that reset, unplug the cord, plug it back in and start over from scratch. So that's what hard reset means to me. The name Reset Roofing came like in 2015, 2016, where I was going to name my company like every roofer does after themselves. And someone else had already, my last name is Shepard, and someone already had Shepard in Atlanta, believe it or not. And my wife called, she's like, I can't get the Wi-Fi to work. I'm like, just hit the reset button, like reset it, hit it. She called me back. She's like, everything's working. And I'm like, Reset Roofing. If we ever own a business one day, that'd be really cool to have Reset Roofing. It's got that double R. So that's where it came from. And now there's like a reset everything. I should have trademarked this a long time ago, but so yeah, that's what reset means to me.
Awesome. And so like, I think this could be in life and business. It applies in a lot of ways. What are some things that, from the conversations that you've had with people on the podcast now and from your own life, what are some things that people can do if they need to reset? I know you're enjoying the episode, but let's give a shout out to another one of our sponsors.
Stop going at it alone, because growing a roofing company today is not what it was like even 3 years ago. Not with the economy, not with private equity, not with AI taking over the world, and let's not forget insurance rewriting the rules. Join the community of roofers who don't really like roofers. We share our winning secrets to help each other dominate in today's fast-changing and unpredictable times. Click the link in the description to apply to join.
What are some things that people can do if they need to reset?
Yeah, I think probably the ringing kind of endorsement of all these things is like, you got to tell someone, and you also have to look at yourself and realize that, hey, I need this reset. Because if I told Jim, if you loved Chipotle, let's just say, and every day you're eating Chipotle, I'm like, Jim, you need to stop eating Chipotle. You can't eat it every day. And it's like, well, I like Chipotle. Jim has to look at himself in the mirror and say, man, I can't eat Chipotle every day. It's not healthy for me. I've learned that I have learned you can't tell people what they need. You can't tell someone, hey, you need a hard reset. It's like, you need to look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey man, I've got to stop doing this. I need to kind of move on with my life. I'm tired of waking up drunk every day, or, doing drugs, or like my life feels empty. Like that rock bottom moment is what most people have to do to get to the hard reset moment so that they can kind of start their life over.
What do you think a struggling roofing contractor can do to reset their business?
I would say hire a mentor, and just have someone come in and look at it, and just because so often it's like, especially like for a male, it's so hard for us to ask for help because we want to be the strong business guy. We want to be the guy that just knows everything. It's like, I've got the answer to every question. And it's the humble guys. It's the guys filled with humility and the girls filled with humility that are like, man, I don't know that answer. Let me find someone else that does it. That's what I love about your sweatshirt, man, is there's so many things I love about RSRA, but one of the many things is like, hey man, I'm a $10 million company. I'm trying to be a $20 million company. Yeah, here's my phone number. Call me. Hey, I'm a $1 million contractor. I'm trying to be a $3 million contractor. Hey man, send me a couple things. Let me look at your SOP. What's an SOP? It's like, man, if I'm like trying to grow as a human, you got to eat that humble pie and be humble and filled with humility and say, man, I need some help, Jim. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just got an audit from my insurance. They say I owe them $25,000. Like, I don't understand. Like, I've paid a bunch of dumb taxes over the years, and I want to give everyone all these dumb taxes that I've paid. So like Jim and all of his friends don't have to follow and pay those dumb taxes, because it's going to be better for the industry, which is why I love RSRA so much. It's like, it's just an open place of, hey man, I need some help. I need some feedback. Will you look at this for me? I'm having problems hiring. I'm losing talent left and right. Everyone's going and starting their own thing. It's like, well, hey, let's look at the culture of your company. Yeah. Hey, how do you pay your people? Like, how do you incentivize all those things? So, man, the humble people, those are the people that I think are just going to really excel.
It's people that are open. Yeah, people that are open, right? Like you're open to change. You're open to expressing your problems. Like, because if you don't express your problems, especially to your peers, who, a lot of people don't have the abundance mindset, but like within a group like we have, it's, it's like, oh yeah, I went through that, or I did that and I tried it this way and it worked, or it didn't work, or it worked for me. It might not work for you, but I tried it this way. And more of those things that you can get into your day-to-day it's fantastic. What is one of the best kind of things that have come out of the, like maybe or you in the mission control group, or one of your things there from one of the other mentors, or not even from a mentor in there, but from one of the other business owners in the RSRA, like what, or outside of the RSRA, what has another roofing business owner, what piece of advice or lesson did they give you that you're like, man, that one made just an amazing impact on what we're doing?
Yeah, I think it would, for me, I've really been following Reimagine Roofing for a while, and Cody Landels, and a lot of the things that he talks about, it makes a lot of sense to me. And I love his vulnerability of like, hey man, we used to do it this way, and then all of a sudden all these people left and they owed me tons of money. And instead of me like filing bankruptcy and like, I found a way to get all these guys their money. And then I was like, I'm going to make this roofing industry like so much better. And for a guy like Cody to invite us out to Arizona to his office and just like say, here's the playbook. Like, here's the playbook. This is what we do. This is how we do it. I mean, the guys in Arizona selling roofs in New Jersey, I mean, it blows me away. So just watching Cody, reading the books that he, like the Zappos book, like, which was an instrumental part for him, like getting all those advice. I mean, shoot, man, Adam Bensman, I mean, that guy's the real deal. There's been so many good pieces, but I would say the biggest advice that I got was from Cody is like, you just constantly got to be evolving. You have to change with the time. You can't do it the same way over and over and over. Like, yeah, it's going to work, but you're probably not going to grow. So
with that, what are some of the evolutions that you are implementing? Like, what are some of the things that have evolved at Reset Roofing?
Yeah, I think the number one evolution was it. Like, I have spent so much money protecting our brand, like with the customer that might be taking advantage of us. At the end of the day, like, it's not worth it to have a negative, any kind of negative thing. So I would say obsessing over the customer experience. And I know I said that earlier, but obsessing so much over the customer experience that they feel like they are a part of the company as well. So we have this cool thing that we do with all of our customers for a new roof standpoint. And anyone who watches this is welcome to steal this idea. I think it's great. So back in the day, like, the Jewish tradition was to hang like prayer scriptures over your door jamb. So like anyone that would walk through the house, it would bless them. That was the theory. So we have the underlayment. So we have this underlayment project that we do with all of our homeowners to say, hey, we bring them this arts and crafts project that they can do with their family or their kids. Hey, we're going to put this underlayment underneath your roof. So you're never going to see it except for this one time that we take a picture. What we want you to do is bless your house. You can bless it with a prayer. You can bless it with a song. You can just have your kids like draw whatever they want. Like, here's all the markers, you just do it. And so we bring the homeowners into the project to make them feel like, hey, we want you to be a part of this. And the reception that we get from all of our homeowners and property owners is like, man, I really felt like I was part of this project. It wasn't just you guys were putting a roof on. You welcomed me into that. And I have learned that, man, if we can obsess over even the littlest things where it's like, we got to drive an hour to drop off this underlayment packet so that, the kids can do it. Like, we're going to do it because it's worth it. So yeah, I mean, we never balk at someone's like, man, that nail pop was never there. Well, we told you on the contract that nail pops are going to happen. No, we're going to send the painter. Like, it's not worth it to me. Like, we'll make money on the next one, and hopefully she'll tell someone or he'll tell someone about, man, that they even said that they won't handle nail pops, but they do. Those little tiny things that just add up, tremendously year after year after year.
The reputation things, and again, it's the homeowner doesn't know. Like, they just don't know. They don't know what this process is going to be like. They don't know that there's going to be nail pops or potentially could be nail pops. They don't know. Like, they don't know any of it. They don't know. Well, one lady didn't know that there was flashing on her roof. I mean,
yeah, she definitely. Yeah, bless her heart. I'm not joking.
No, not at all. Not at all. What are the other things that help to bring that customer in, or just create that great customer experience that you guys do or have focused on?
Yeah, we just try to throw everyone in that we go and see, like, if this was my home, what would I do? So we have a huge repair department. We love doing repairs. And so, we'll go to Jim's house and we'll be like, hey, Jim, like, your roof's only 15 years old. You have some nail pops and, we would recommend doing these 3 things and do it. Hey, Jim, we had a storm in your area. Yeah, we definitely think that your insurance company should be involved in this. We would file a claim. So that's kind of how we treat every customer, is like, if this was my house, what would I do? And to be honest, this is my favorite role that I always use, is I cover the logo on my shirt and I just say, hey, let me consult you through this, right? Because to be honest, like, it doesn't matter if they don't buy a roof from me, because someone else will. I mean, historically speaking, right? So, like, at the end of the day, let me just consult you through this. Like, if this was my house, this is what I would do. Yeah, if you got this guy and you trust him and you feel safe using him, like, use him. Here's why we're different. Might cost you a little more, might cost you less, but that's what I would do. And so, the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated, man, that's done such wonders, from an employee standpoint, from a homeowner standpoint, from a supplier standpoint, from a crew standpoint. That's really kind of how we like to operate, is like, man, if this was me, how would I want to be taken care of? And it's really helped our business flourish.
Like, I know you're a visionary, right? Like, and you're like, I have a lot of ideas, and so has there ever been anything that you've implemented in that in trying to improve that customer experience where you're like, well, that didn't work?
Yeah, all the dumb taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things is like we used to let the customer, like, we used to ask the question like, hey, does that work for you? Like, does that work for your schedule? And so that was a terrible design, because now all of a sudden, like, nobody wanted a roof on a Monday and nobody wanted a roof on Friday. So we could only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So instead of asking if it works, hey, we have you scheduled on this day, has been really super helpful, because of course, if it doesn't work on a Monday, like, but who wants to cherry pick, their specific date and time that wants to go. So taking, maybe not giving full autonomy to the homeowner to say when the materials are being delivered and when we're actually coming to put the roof on. I mean, we literally had a builder call us. It was a remodel. It was 8:30 at night. He called us. He said, oh, by the way, the HOA will not let anyone do any work until 8 a.m. And the guys show up at 6. I mean, it's hot. Like, we're trying to get this thing done. Mm-hmm. I have a picture from my builder on my phone of the guys sitting on the ridge, and it's like 7:45 in the morning, and they all have their forks just like ready to go. And across the street, there's a landscaper with a backpack blower going, and I'm like, yep, we're those guys, man. Yeah, we're those guys that we're going to wait till 8 a.m. to make the customer happy. So
you got to do it. If you had to start over, now with all of the things that you've learned, look, you got to reset right now. What do you do?
What would my action plan be?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't. It was hard, man. It was really hard. I think my action plan would be, I would slow down, because so much of, like, even being a sales guy or being an owner is like, man, time is so, like, important. And I would slow down, and I would get to my 10 o'clock appointment and just sit there until they had all their questions answered. And I wouldn't rush to the 12 and rush to the 2 and the 4 and all that stuff. I'd go real slow. I would hire the exact same team that I have now. The exact same team. It would be a really hard recruitment, but I challenge my team against anyone's team right now. They're just uber talented, and they care so much about the customer experience, and I just love that so much. But yeah, I would probably go real slow and be selective and not take it personally.
Awesome. Martin, thanks for your time today. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast.
Thank you for tuning into the Roofing Success Podcast. For more valuable content, visit roofingsuccesspodcast.com. While there, check out our sponsors for exclusive offers, shop for merchandise, and sign up for our newsletter for industry updates and tips. Also, join the Roofing Success Facebook group to connect with other professionals and stay updated on the latest trends. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. Your support helps us continue to bring you top industry insights. The website link is in the description. Thanks for listening.